Welcome to Smart Quiz. Are you ready to test your knowledge and have some fun? Today, we're diving into literature and books with 50 awesome questions. Think you're a trivia whiz? Let's find out. Who wrote the novel Pride and Prejudice? Jane Austen. In the novel To Kill a Mockingbird, who is the protagonist and narrator? Scout Finch. Who is the author of the best-selling novel The Girl on the Train, which was adapted into a film starring Emily Blunt? Paula Hawkins. Which classic novel by George Orwell is a satirical critique of totalitarianism? 1984. In J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, what is the name of Frodo's loyal friend and gardener? Samwise Gamgee. Who wrote the Gothic novel Frankenstein or The Modern Prometheus? Mary Shelley. Who is the author of the detective novel Sherlock Holmes series? Arthur Conan Doyle. Who wrote the classic novel Jane Eyre? Charlotte Bronte. Who is the author of the novel Wuthering Heights? Emily Bronte. Who wrote the classic novel The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn? Mark Twain. In the book Dracula by Bram Stoker, which country does Count Dracula come from? Romania. Who wrote the dystopian novel Brave New World? Aldous Huxley. Which classic dystopian novel by Ray Bradbury was adapted into a film directed by François Truffaut? Fahrenheit 451. Which classic novel tells the story of a ship captain's obsessive quest for a giant white whale? Moby Dick. Who is the author of the novel The Picture of Dorian Gray? Oscar Wilde. In the Hunger Games trilogy, what is the name of the protagonist who volunteers as tribute for her sister? Katniss Everdeen. Who wrote the novel The Grapes of Wrath, depicting the struggles of a family during the Great Depression? John Steinbeck. The novel War and Peace is written by which Russian author? Leo Tolstoy. Who wrote the play Romeo and Juliet, one of the most famous tragedies in literary history? William Shakespeare. In the Lord of the Rings trilogy, what object does Frodo Baggins set out to destroy in the fires of Mount Doom? The ring. Which classic novel features the characters Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy? Pride and Prejudice. Who wrote the play Macbeth, a tragedy that explores the corrupting influence of unchecked ambition? William Shakespeare. Who wrote the novel The Shining, which was adapted into a film directed by Stanley Kubrick? Stephen King. Which Spanish author wrote the iconic work Don Quixote? Miguel de Cervantes. Who wrote the novel The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which was adapted into a film directed by David Fincher? Stieg Larsson. Who is the author of the classic children's book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland? Lewis Carroll. Which French author wrote the novel Les Miserables? Victor Hugo. In the Chronicles of Narnia series, who is the wise and powerful lion who serves as a central character? Aslan. In the Harry Potter series, who is known as He Who Must Not Be Named and is the main antagonist? Lord Voldemort. Which Ken Follett novel is set in the fictional English town of Kingsbridge and follows the construction of a cathedral? The Pillars of the Earth. What is the title of Paulo Coelho's famous novel? The Alchemist. In the book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, what is the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything? 42. Who is the author of the novel 100 Years of Solitude, a landmark work in magical realism? Gabriel Garcia Marquez. What novel by Markus Zusak was adapted into a film about a young girl in Nazi Germany? The Book Thief. Who is the author of the novel The Count of Monte Cristo, A Tale of Revenge and Redemption? Alexandre Dumas. Who is the author of the novel Little Women, which follows the lives of the four March sisters? Louisa May Alcott. Who is the author of the best-selling series A Song of Ice and Fire, which was adapted into the television series Game of Thrones? George R. Martin. Which best-selling novel by Dan Brown was adapted into a film starring Tom Hanks? The Da Vinci Code. Which German author wrote the tragic play Faust? Goethe. The film The Silence of the Lambs is based on a novel by which author? Thomas Harris. Who is the author of The Kite Runner? Khaled Hosseini. What novel by Nicholas Sparks was adapted into a film starring Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams? The Notebook. Who wrote the novel Jurassic Park? Michael Crichton. Which author is known for the psychological thriller Gone Girl, which was adapted into a film directed by David Fincher? Gillian Flynn. The film The Martian is based on a novel by which author? Suzanne Collins. Who is the Russian author known for works like Crime and Punishment and The Brothers Karamazov? Fyodor Dostoevsky. Who wrote The Little Prince, a philosophical novella told from a pilot's perspective? Saint-Exupéry. Which author wrote The Odyssey? Homer! Who wrote Tropic of Cancer, exploring human experiences? Henry Miller. Which Franz Kafka novel features Gregor Samsa, who wakes up one morning to find himself transformed into a giant insect? The Metamorphosis. All right, that's it for today's quiz. How many did you get right? Let's hear your score in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Smart Quiz for more fun quizzes. See you next time!